What up, Lloyd?
What's up with it,
All right, Lloyd. So this is our little segment that I'm starting off on the podcast here, and we're just gonna talk about different people that I fuck with in the car community. Obviously, having one of the most infamous, not the most, I would say the most infamous 61 out there right now, to live and die in LA.
What's up with it, man? Yeah, fucking. A lot of people hit me up on this car. Kind of the mystery is like how I got it, but I've told it a million times. There's no mystery. It was just on Craigslist. It just was advertised as the Tupac to live and die in LA car, but they had no documentation. But when I bought the car, I brought it home and I popped the glove box. All the documentation was in there. So
Really?
yeah, the registration to the plates, which was the first hit, the production papers and all that. So I knew exactly what I got. He said a lot of people weren't really willing to take the chance. They didn't want to drive all the way out there to look at it because it wasn't verified. So
Mhm.
it was up for sale for a couple years. I'd seen it off and on, and a guy in my car club, Jay, he sent it over to me after I went to see another car and it just wasn't what I wanted. I got home that night and he's like, "Here it is, send it to me again." Next morning, I was like, "Man, you want to drive with me to go see it?" We took off, drove out there. It was in like Santa Maria or something like that. I can't remember the exact location, but Santa something.
Mhm.
It was far. And I ended up picking it up, and here she is now.
All right. So running back in the car, you purchased it just, and you knew just off the cuff that
It
you were
was.
getting the car, right?
I did. I knew I was going to get it because I wanted a 61 convertible, regardless of it being the Tupac living down LA car. At that point, it wasn't even really important to me, to be 100% honest with you. It was just an added bonus that when I got the car. And then when I got it and showed everybody, they got me they probably got me more excited than I actually was excited about the history, to be honest with you. I mean, I thought it was really cool, love Tupac and all that, but in my mind, I was seeing a 61 lowrider. So when I got the car, everybody's kind of, I guess the way they went about it by beefing it up to me and telling me to keep it original, I did that. And I fixed the 283. I fixed the two-speed power glide that was in here. I just went back and kept it all original suspension and just redid everything brand new, bushings and all that. And then I drove it around for, I don't know, a few hours. There was no enjoyment for me. It was cool that the top was down and I was in a convertible in California and the weather was great, but I'm used to hitting switches. So driving a classic to me, it either has to go fast or it has to have juice, which means hydraulics. And that's what I enjoy. I mean, half of the fun to me is actually hitting the switches when I'm in the car. I love owning a classic, and this being, I mean, obviously I'm not going to go cut a, Acura, or something like that. That's not my style, but, to each his own. But I like a classic. That's what it's made for. And when I look at classics, I see them with hydraulics. That's why I always stick with Impalas.
What hydraulic setup did you roll?
This one I got done. Well, I went to a couple different shops. My first initial one, I went to Kool-Aid. I got a 2-pump setup with 8 batteries, 8X to the front, and a Marsace. I basically went off through it and had to change the suspension, and different things weren't working the way it was set up. And it's still 2 pumps, 8 batteries, but I just had to adjust a lot of stuff. Needed to get new uppers and lowers and different things. And that was pretty much it. It's a basic setup for me because that's what I always go for. If you want the standing 3-wheel, obviously you'll do 3 pumps. But on my white 64, I have soft springs in the rear, and I can just hit it and it'll 3-wheel, standing 3-wheel with 2 pumps. But normally, if you want 3-wheel on the corners when you're actually turning in force, you're gonna want 2 pumps. And then if you want to be able to do 3-wheel just standing still and raise it up, you'll want 3.
Damn.
Yeah.
So, let me ask you this: is the infamous story about the chick when they filmed this music
right
video?
here. Yeah, you know what? I just took those girls riding the other day. I took them around Crenshaw Mall. We went over to Roscoe's in LA, but yeah, it's still there. We were talking about it when we were filming it. Now I have a 350 engine in here with the 350 turbo transmission. It's got headers on it, and they're Flowmaster FX, I believe. They're almost like their version of Cherry Bomb. So when it's at high RPMs and I let off it, pow, 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 pow. And if I rev it up at night, it'll shoot flame.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's crazy, but I love this car. I mean, I can't say that I like it better than my 64 because there's just something about that car that I love. It has a lot of space. I mean, the 61's a smaller car, And when I get to driving my 6'4" around, I get back in this and it feels tiny and I'm closer to the steering wheel. So I prefer the more laid back feeling of my 64. It's nice to take this out though, but I can't take it anywhere. Like if I just park and try to smoke a joint and hang out at the beach, it's never a solo mission. I'll look up and people around my car taking pictures, filming, trying to talk to me about it. And that's cool and all. I like doing that too. It's a plus about owning a classic car is the relationships you build, but sometimes you just want to be left alone. You know what I mean? So I'll actually just leave my lowrider and I'll take my wife's Forerunner.
Forerunner over there, right?
Go to the beach incognito. Nobody knows who it is, and I can enjoy my joint nice and quietly.
Shout out Fish. Stay anchored.
What's up?
What would you say got you into lowriding? Or not even lowriding, just the classic car. More leaning towards that than because you could have went anyway. I know you had your mom's Corvette. Like that could have been something you could have rolled with. But
what got me into classic cars is I was born in '73, so these are the cars from my childhood that I remember: the smells, the sounds, the seats, the interiors, the radios. Sometimes I like to get an old '64 Impala and just leave the original stereo, and I love listening to the Dodger games on AM. It's one of my favorite things about an Impala. It just reminds me of my childhood, you know, riding with my grandfather. He had Lincolns, and my mom had Chevelles and Corvettes. My dad had Roadrunners, and it's just a time that cars were real cars. I mean, anybody in the world can go out and buy a Toyota 4Runner or go buy a BMW or a Lexus or anything like that, but not everyone can go buy a 61 convertible.
Would you feel like when I drive mine, I just feel like you slow down. You unplug from just getting in your car and being in a rush. Because I think that's what we kind of all relate cars to. You're just trying to get somewhere to go somewhere. In this, you really don't need to have an end goal. This could turn into you going and kicking it at the beach. You run into Jay and, hey, let's go cruise over here. They got this gig going up. Because I'm sure that happened a lot when you first
I will
got
say
down here,
most of my life, that is what the truth. I mean, it still is my therapy, but I get a lot of hate for no reason, which who really gives a fuck who hates you and who doesn't? But in the lowrider game, it's hard to get respect in the game if you're not Mexican or black or something else. You know, being Asian and white and doing this, I mean, people just hate to see you doing well for some reason. So that gets a little irritating. I had to block them out and just start ignoring them because, I mean, you can't fight the world. Half of these people are nothing-ass motherfuckers with nothing to lose. You know what I mean? Probably over at their mama's house. Haven't been laid in years, you know what I mean? Sucking off of mama's tit. So I'm not really worried about anybody, but it does get old for people just to hate on you. I don't even know they exist. I don't know their name, never met them, never did anything to them. They just wake up with that fuck Lloyd attitude, which I find that funny because I don't have hate in me. I would even make monies with my enemy if they were smart enough to, you know, put that energy towards making some type of money and come up with a business plan. I'm always up for that type of shit. But
I know we were chopping it up about that earlier with Fish. It just seems like, I don't know, if you don't know you and just get the impression off you of just the cars and stuff, there's more to it. Like, you know what I mean?
For sure. I mean, fuck, dude, I'm the first person to help somebody. I've helped tons of people get into low riding, give them advice where to get all their stuff done. I never treat anybody shitty that doesn't know shit about low riding, trying to get into it or comes asking me questions, you know? And that was real popular in the 90s. You'd ask some type of question and people would be like, oh, this fucking lame, blah, blah, you know, but whatever. You have to ask questions to know. Not everybody just gets into the low riding and it's like, oh yeah, I know all the history and I know this and that. There's just tons of shit I don't even know. You know, I mean, I've been at it. I wasn't trying to be get my PhD in low riding. I was just trying to have low riders and have fun. When I first started having them, no one I knew had them, and I wasn't trying to fit into their lifestyle. I didn't give a fuck. I do what makes me happy. Mm-hmm. I don't answer to any man, and I do what I want to do. And when I want to do it, and I have my entire life. So, I mean, that's it wasn't like I was trying to be, I just like it. It's what I enjoy. I'm not a culture vulture. I don't even know what the fuck that means, but I mean, if anything, I've probably been low riding than a lot of these motherfuckers. Appreciate that, G. I've been low riding a lot longer than a bunch of other people, so, you know, I don't really give a fuck about their opinion. Even if they have been low riding longer than me, I don't give a fuck about their opinion. I'm not paying my bills. You know what I mean? They're not over here making sure my kids are good or my car's detailed or wheels are shining, none of that shit. No one's over here checking the safety of my lowrider, so I don't really give a fuck, you know? I just find it funny.
Well, you got a fucking showstopper. We just seen that dude almost eat it on the bike.
I like that DJ Blue Friday scene right there. A lot of people don't notice this. Do you notice that these are gold and then this isn't? I was actually thinking about golding this out because I just had that little gold peak, you know, because I thought it would look really good off of the purple lights. But not a lot of people notice it when I show that to them. They're like, "Oh shit, I never even noticed." But I thought it'd be something a little different. I almost did the whole grill. I might eventually. The gold doesn't last very long.
Really?
No, gold doesn't have a. I mean, in California and living by the beach, it definitely doesn't have a long life. I'm always getting that. What is it? The triple lot, the Brillo or whatever, the really fine one, and shining it up. So, I'm trying to keep on top of it. It's hard to. And I don't make money like I used to, so it's not like I can just like, oh, I'm gonna get all new gold, or I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna do that. I have to fix it piece by piece. It's no longer drop the car off and fix it all at once. Like I have nicks and chips and dents on this car. I probably could use a repainting or a touch up, but you know, I just enjoy it.
But a lot of my homies, you know what, man? And it's weird. It's like they say, birds of a feather flock together. All my homies who do have cars, they drive them, and I will say you drive the shit out of this car.
Prius, that's my wife's dailies. My two are my dailies. If I want to go somewhere, I take my lowrider.
And that's like,
unless I'm going like real far during the day or something, and you know, obviously I'm gonna take the AC car in the summer. But
yeah, crazy.
I have heaters in both of them, but no AC. I thought about putting AC in them, but you rarely need it out here. In the evenings, if you're out long enough, it gets cool enough in the evenings where you're not. It's not like a Vegas summer evening.
Oh, man. Fuck it. Could we take it for a dip?
Yeah, let me put a few things on. We'll get out of here.
Does it always feel like the first time when you're pulling your car out?
Yeah, except when it makes that noise. My power steering. Oh, it's loose. And it's leaking also. You don't have problems. You don't have a lowrider. The guy told me a funny joke one time. He's like, I want to get a lowrider. I don't want it to break down ever. I don't want any problems, no leaks, no nothing. I said, don't get a lowrider. Definitely don't get a lowrider. That's not like the car for you. I think I have mine.
What's the farthest you've driven this car?
I don't know. Like 8 hours a couple times all around.
Just all day?
Just coming. Yeah, all day. She did. But don't, dude. You want to know what? If it's messed up, it'll break while you're dipping, then you know what to fix. All those little weird sounds and shit you always get, I look for them if they're obvious, but other than that, I don't fucking bother looking because I'll just wait till it breaks, I'll fix it. I just do regular maintenance, tighten everything up, and do what I'm supposed to do. But always with old schools, there's always like some noise you can't figure out what it is. Like, listen, there's this knot right here. I don't know. I think it might just have something to do with my window. But it'll go. That did look dark as light. My engine's still cold.
Got fish, trying to hide.
I need to get these fixed. There's like little sleeves that go in there I can tighten them up with because they keep them loose no matter what I do. What day is it? Is it Friday?
Yeah, it is Friday.
Fuck, we might get stuck down here for a minute. Might as well go take the little thing. What up, big dog? How you living? Just chilling.
Hey, yo, show up and show out.
Yeah, always. What's up, big dog? Let me know.
Always a showstopper, man.
Yeah. Everybody likes this car. That's what I was saying when I put this car for sale. Everyone thinks, oh, $250, that's crazy. Bro, this is a business. This car makes so much money. I mean, you're not just buying a car, you're buying a business. You're buying relationships. You buy a lot of things when it comes with this car. But, you know, people don't see the big picture. It's fine with me. I'll just keep it. It keeps making me money all the time. If you ever get bored of it, I'll paint it. Let everyone miss it.
Oh, shit.
You know what I mean? Do
Dude,
another
you'd start
color.
a revolution if you did that, man.
Tear it down and do it all over again in a few years. You know what I mean? It's all about having fun and surprises, you know? It's my shit. I do what I want.
You heard it here first, folks. I don't think I've ever heard this man say he painted.
I will.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we will paint it.
Does everybody do a lot of people recognize this car?
Some of them do. What's up, G's? How y'all doing? Appreciate
like
that.
Kobe out here.
Oh, yeah.
I like that. Lakers. Let's go Lakers. Here we go. Let's go Lakers.
And then there's the people who just just know it as it being just a badass car.
Yeah,
Right?
just the yellow. I mean, a yellow ragtop 61 is kind of an eye catch, especially with all the gold. Hey,
Fucking always, bro.
Lakers because the purple and yellow go. That's why I did shit. It's not good.
I'm kind of fucking jealous right now, bro, because I thought I'd get looks in my car, man, bro. We're fucking,
We're in that.
we're in the fucking iconic two-part car,
What up,
man.
guys?
A lot of people like
The Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah, Lakers.
The Nipsey Hussle one gets a lot too.
The Nipsey one?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you on that Nipsey one. Do you get some haters on that one too, just for the colors that you run on it?
Of course. Like when I first did the car, I mean, I don't go around running my history and stuff like that. I'm 48 now. My gangster is daddy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to. I mean, fuck, dude. I'm 48, almost 49 years old. I ain't trying to be out here scrapping with these motherfuckers and shit. They can have the streets. You know, I guess people gets under their skin, or they think like I want the streets or something. Shit, dude. They can have them. I'm just out in the streets having fun alongside them. I mean, I ain't trying. You know, I may have nice rides, but. Who cares? Fucking Impala's Impala. I got enough respect for a dude in a rusty ass Impala on switches with a dude with a complete show car on switches. I just like, if you got one, man, you like riding, and that's what it's all about. Thanks, homie. Yeah, nice shirt, Lakers, baby. Yeah, but you know, my affiliations were in my teenage 20s, and I got out of that when I was in my 30s. I mean, it was no secret, and if you ask me, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
But I'm not running around screaming it out loud, throwing it up anyone's face. I live in a different place. I mean, if you want to get technical, where I'm from, I guess, would be Chino, California. We lived in Chino, California, and my mom in the summer went to visit my aunt, and I came out there, and I ended up being born in Kansas City, Missouri. We went
really?
back to Chino, California, and lived and had a life, you know what I mean? But I don't claim anywhere because I didn't live anywhere for very long. Like, oh yeah, how am I going to say I'm from Chino, California? I have no recollection of that shit. I was a little kid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't say I'm from Kansas City, Missouri because I didn't live there. I was just born there, you know what I mean? Hey, how you doing? So, you know, I mean, fuck, dude. I claim Long Beach is where, I mean, this is where I made my family. Both my kids were born here, right at St. Mary's. This is where I made my life. I never had it this good in all these badass cars anywhere else. I came out here and I started hustling, and I sold my hair salon, and I started doing what I wanted to do. It's not like I'm a young kid that just started blowing up. I mean, in my 20s, if I had a lowrider, if it was a nice car, it was just a plain car maybe with rims or something like that. Or if it had hydraulics, it had fucking, you know, rust all in the floors and stuff. It wasn't like I was like slaying the game, and I wasn't trying to. I was just trying to do the best I could with my abilities. That was it. You know what I mean? That's all I'm trying to do now. Just outdo myself and the best I can do. I don't care about anybody else. I like everybody else's car just as much as I like my cars, you know? And even if you're my enemy and you drive an Impala, I don't hate your car. I just hate you. You know, I mean, actually, I don't even hate you. Just fuck you. You know what I mean? I don't even give them time and energy to hate them motherfuckers. Yeah.
Hey, that's real talk, though. You know what I mean?
I mean, that one is.
Hey, yo, the better kind.
What's that?
The better kind.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
The better kind. And
The-
it's down in LA.
Yes, sir. this guy
Yeah,
doing
dude.
here?
I was just gonna say the same thing.
Oh, she's trying to crash that motherfucker's Impala.
What would you say? Would you say that you went through Nipsey to make the Hustle 6'4"? I would say. Was that more you went with that color scheme as a tribute to Nipsey, or just because you like the color?
It's because it's my color. I mean, I like that color. I mean, I wasn't going to do red because it's not my color. You know what I mean? I grew up, everything was blue. So, you know, I mean, fuck. I mean, look, I didn't know it was their Nipsey Hussle car. I bought the car from Compton. He had it put up. Nobody wanted to buy it from him. Everybody seemed like they were scared to go get it from him. So I showed up and went and got it. It was for sale for a while. I brought it home. I owed him $1,000 more for this EQ that was in his car that I wanted. He came to my house to pay me $1,000, and this is what he tells me: "You got another famous car now." And he does all kinds of he raps, does all kinds of shit. And I thought he was talking about himself, just clowning, playing around, just like everybody else does.
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah, that Compton rig special." And he goes, "Nah, fool. This was the good cop, bad cop car with Ice Cube. It was the last car Nipsey Hussle used in the prior video." And I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I love Nipsey Hussle. I love his music. The Higher video is not my favorite song of his. I'm gonna be honest. However, he was a dope man. I mean, he had a lot of cool thoughts and a lot of real cool energy. And I liked what he did. I liked that he put back into his people and put back into his community. And it seemed like he kept it real. I didn't know him personally at any point in time on Broadway, but I can't judge a man by his meeting with cars. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't even trying to. At the time, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a fucking gigantic fan. I just knew who he was. I didn't know, you know what I mean? Like, now, look at this motherfucker just have it in his own way. Lazy strong. But you know, so I was just doing the car and having fun with it, and I always switch my red Dayton logos to something just because I wanted. And I started off doing that, and then the car got hit.
I seen that by the Subaru, right?
Yeah, and when the car got hit, it fucked it up enough that I was lucky enough to be able to get a full paint job on the car. Fucked my foot up, dude. I have this huge knot on the bottom of my foot. It's so fucked up. But I guess I'm just stuck with it. I don't know. I'm going to have to go to the doctor. The thought of them cutting this knot out of my bottom of my foot drives me nuts. However, it does hurt. Anyhow.
Shout out Louis Garage.
Yeah,
you gave me that contact.
Yeah, exactly. Louis Garage did my paint for me, and they've got it to where him and Aaron made it where I could get whatever I wanted. I could paint this motherfucker rainbow, purple, blue, whatever. It was my choice because it was damaged enough to get a paint job. So they did. So I decided to go white again with Dodger Blue Pearl in the car. I wanted it kind of deep, and they did just that. They put white with Dodger Blue Pearl. And while I had it in there, I started thinking about what I was going to do with my girls. And a long time ago, I bought a 6'4" hardtop, but there was a bunch of stuff, and I changed it all up to what I wanted it to be. And I put in the trim, I put black bandana stickers. Wasn't nothing gang affiliated, just something I wanted to do. It wasn't towards anybody or not, you know what I mean? It was just what I felt like doing. So I got the idea. I said, fuck, dude, I wonder if somebody could actually do blue bandana on this car. I'll do a little tribute to Nipsey Hussle. Plus play a little respect to, you know, my history and shit like that. But, you know, that's it. Nothing to it. Some guy made a video saying all this different shit. They ended up finding out that, you know, I mean, you could reach back home to the right person. I have every right to. You know what I mean? I repped what I repped. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But, you know, I never was that type. It's always been, everything to me is always about getting money and getting into that stuff. I got into it because one of my very, very good friends I hung out with all the time and ended up being around his homeboys, and it's just how it ended up being. You know what I mean? I wasn't the type to go throwing gang signs at anybody. I mean, I backed up my homeboys and we got money. It was a different style. It was than it is here. So I'm not trying to involve myself in any politics. I'm old as fuck, and then who's trying to gangbang in their 50s? Only a fool. You know what I mean? Like, or someone that's trapped in the life. I don't want any part of it. What makes me happy is my kids. And I learned a lot. When I got locked up in my second prison sentence, two of my really good homies robbed in my place and cleaned me out like the goddamn movers. So do I have loyalty to them? I can't say that I do. You know what I mean? I have loyalty to my kids and to my wife and to my few friends that do surprise me with loyalty, which is rare. You know what I mean? It doesn't surprise me when you fuck me over these days. It surprises me when you do something out of loyalty and love. I'm like, damn, okay, this is very rare for that to happen. But, you know, you can bitch, you complain all you want, or you can just live your life and do the hell you want to. I choose just to live my life and do what I want to.
I feel you.
If there's consequences to just doing that, then but let the consequences happen.
Just like putting hydraulics on the to live and die in LA car, right?
Yeah. Everyone's like, you're gonna ruin the value of that car. It was the worst idea. Thank you, G. Nothing worse than a grown man to ask another grown man to hop his car. I give him a little taste of the shit out of love for the game, but in reality,
It's for the kids, right?
all for the kids. I do it for the kids. I can let them get up in here and hop with me. Like kids, we can have a good time. But we don't fuck with little dudes. That's just being real.
For the podcast, for the sake of the podcast, we're gonna hit the switch when somebody asks.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm gonna wrap this up. We're definitely gonna have you on as a guest and get into the. I want to hear about the hair salon business, bro. I want to hear the backstory on that because not a lot of people dug into that. So
No, I'll tell you all about it.
we're gonna sit down and get down with you.
It was a really good hustle.
Was it really?
Oh fuck yeah, it was. I lived this street life and hustle life my whole life, and I got out of prison the second time, and I wanted to do something different. And someone told me insanity's doing the same thing, expecting a different outcome. So I fucking took that advice, became a hairdresser, and it was a good life for some time. I made it where I needed to, that's for sure.
I want to get the full long story on that one. So we
Yeah, let me
definitely
know when
circle
we
back.
do the whole podcast. We'll get that done.
But appreciate it, Lord.
Absolutely.
Thank you, brother.
Later, fellas.